Be sure to follow me on Blue Sky for everyday posts and sneak peeks of videos before they even come out. The Real Dominator on Blue Sky. Well, what do we have here? An unexpected surprise for me, but a surprise nonetheless. And for those of you in the Murder fandom who don't know who I am, well, you're in for a treat. Hello, all you beautiful people. My name is Dom, aka The Real Dominator, and welcome back to another video. And today, we'll be doing something a little bit different than what I normally do on this channel. Because while I'd rather know if my Jukes Towers of Hell gameplay, you all know me as a quite excited Murder Drones fan. Especially the #1 Lizzie fan of all time. Anyway, today, like I said, we're going to be ranking every single Murder Drones episode from worst to best. With the finale finally out and the story's all said and done, what other perfect time to come in and give every episode its deserved ranking. Now, I've been watching the show for about 9 months now, since November 2023, and it's been quite the fun, long ride I've had. And I'm, like everyone else, I'm pretty sad it's over. I've made a lot of friends in this community, met a lot of cool people, did a few collaborations and stuff like that. It's been a fun time, but now it's coming to an end. And now it's time to rank every episode, like I said. Now this list is 100% facts. There will be absolutely no bias. Well, maybe a little bit biased, but yeah, other than that, not much to say. But without further ado, this is every episode of Murder Drones, ranked from worst to best. Coming in last place, we have Heartbeat. Yeah, this episode's just bad. Kind of a hot take, I know, but this is definitely an episode that you either love it or hate it, and I'm unfortunately on the side that isn't very fond of it. The pacing of this episode is very slow, and there really isn't much going on in this episode except this hollow, spooky snake crab. Ooh, like what the fuck even really happened in this episode? Come on. Some of the jokes in this episode were poorly timed as well. Like, come on, man. And to be honest, I find this episode kind of boring. Not a lot going for it, and when I rewatched the series the day before the finale dropped, I deadass almost fell asleep watching the episode too. Yeah, we learn about the solver, Uzi becomes fearful of Anne and that shit, but I can't really appreciate this episode when it's so slow and boring. Time for everybody's least favorite episode, looking at you, Yagster. Home. Yeah, this episode kinda sucks. I only really put this above Heartbeat because it has more important moments, but the problem is, and to put it simply, the concept was good, but execution, in my opinion, terrible. It was cool to have a flashback, but like Heartbeat, it felt very sluggish, and some of the important moments that we were supposed to get got cut off short. Exhibit A, the fight between N, J, Tessa, and Solver V. It was going to be great until this mofo came out of nowhere and said this.
Why are you talking like that?
Yeah, what a way to ruin the vibe. The whole humans being silhouettes thing, I guess, was kinda nice. I don't really know about it. But yeah, not much else to say. This episode was honestly just so mid. It did for Jado and Salvessa, look at the number right there, and it was cool to see where the drones came from, but that's about it. Moving on. I have many controversial takes, but one of my most controversial takes of all time in relation to Murder Drones is that Dead End is one of the worst episodes, and I know a lot of you are probably shocked seeing this one so low. This episode is one that the fandom seems to glaze really hard, and I just don't get why. There's just a whole lot of flaws with this one that I just can't rank it any higher. For one, 2 new characters get introduced, Alice and Bo. They're meant to be the antagonists of this episode, and a big hindrance to our gang with Uzi, N, V, and Tessa. Sure, there was also Doll being an antagonist, but she was AFK for most of the episode. And sure, you introduce 2 new characters into the series, then they get packed up by the Sentinels 5 minutes later. And hey, let's address these dumbass creatures. I hate the Sentinels, plain and simple. These things are nothing but an annoyance to me. I won't go into too much detail because I'll be rambling for a while. But I can't be the only one who can't stand them, right? And again, pacing feels quite slow. At least the suspense was good, which is something Heartbeat at Home were terrible at, in my opinion. Now for the elephant in the room. V's sacrifice. Oh my god, was this not needed? Literally on that same stream, I timed it and V had nearly a minute to just cut the wires and hop in the elevator. Yeah, blame Doll for that because she was being an op. Karma was a bitch and Girly got patched next episode. But going back to V real quick, V had so much time and she wasted it fighting the Sentinels to only give up at the end and admit defeat. Oh my god, this moment broke me the first time, but now it just angers me. I know she didn't die, but I can't be the only one who feels this way about it, right? Yeah, you can tell I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but I still do kind of like it. It's passable in my opinion. Definitely not as bad as the 2 episodes prior. Taking 5th place as a pilot. What can I say? It's a great introduction to the series, and it does a great job at hooking you in, as a pilot to a series should. While there are some questionable moments, to say the least.
Sweet, I'm open to new things, I guess.
We are never talking about this.
Talking about what? Consider it, repressed. Uzi! I'm so sorry. Have fun repressing this.
Ew! What the hell?
I do enjoy this first episode quite a bit, and yeah, the animation isn't the best either, but I guess they didn't have the proper resources at the time, or the lighting was just bad. I honestly have no idea. As the first episode of the series, we're introduced to the frozen wasteland that is Silver Lake. Yeah, that's what I call the abandoned city the drone called Luther, but that's irrelevant. It's quite an unsettling atmosphere, to say the least, and in Uzi were also great in this episode, sticking to their roots, because we all know what ended up happening. And Khan, yeah, not the best dad in existence, but he gets better later. Everything about the pilot is just so good at hooking in the viewer, and I suspect that's how a lot of us got into the show, hence all the videos coming out. Oh, and can I say that the first fight scene near the end of the episode was just so good? And the music too. God damn, even in the early days, AJ was just cooking. Click was my favorite track of the OST before Volume 3 came out. Anyway, a great start to the series. Let's move on to the next one. Number 4, Absolute End. Yeah, I know what you're all saying. Absolute End is not number 1. Oh my god. Video gets disliked. Gotta get death. Oh my goodness. Absolute End is not number 1. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, already gone? Okay. Probably my hottest take of the video by far, but Absolute End is not number 1. Oh my god, I'm so surprised. I personally feel like this episode is very controversial, despite the reception being overly positive so far. And I know a lot of content creators probably don't share my stance with this one, but I was severely underwhelmed by this episode and its ending after clearing my head. If I had to describe this finale, I would say it's basically a 20-minute fight scene. I did like it. I think it's pretty damn awesome, but I wouldn't say it's absolute cinema, as a certain somebody else says it. Because man, I am so split on this episode. Because the parts that were good about it stood out a lot, but then we have everything on the complete opposite side, and oh boy, do I have stuff to say about it. So I'm about to go on a tangent. After the episode ended, I went live with a few other MDTubers, those being Gladion, Slayer Stinky, and Excavator 32. And we basically discussed the episode with our general thought, and we weren't necessarily fans of it. A lot of my points came from that live stream, link in the description, so prepare for me to go on a fucking tangent. Anyways, here we go. So first off, the ending itself. Yes, it's a good ending. Everyone is happy, living their life. But is it just me, or does it feel like this doesn't feel like how Murder Zone should have ended? Like, we basically established at this point that the Solvers is this extremely powerful entity that won't go down easy. Yet Uzi managed to pack up that bitch in 15 minutes with the help of her lover boy. More on that in a minute. And really, pulling out Sen's heart and igniting it in fire somehow stops time and space? And Uzi's solution was to eat her heart. What was left of it? Now she's become a little solver. Oh well, at least it's not eating away at her, although that would have been cool to see. Shout out to the homie Voice for that idea. So yeah, this is like editing inception. I don't even know what to call it at this point. Well, if I sound any different, it's because like I woke up like 20 minutes ago and I'm recording this like very early in the morning. So yeah, so about this idea of Uzi trying to control her solver tail so she doesn't lose her mind, that actually became the sole like plot of a fan project, emergent fan project called End of the Line, which was created by this guy called Xander Russell, one of my Canadian brethren in the MD YouTube space. And yeah, it seems pretty cool. So it just takes the whole idea of Uzi and Sin being this kind of amalgamation thing, and Uzi's trying to fight it off because obviously that thing's gonna try and control her again. I don't really know. So yeah, I figure it's kind of funny that as I'm editing this video, with that whole idea with the thing, and that fan product gets announced. So yeah, go check it out, I guess. Maybe I'll link it, I don't really know yet, but yeah, back to the vid. Anyway, Newsy being canon. Oh my god, am I mad? This was something I think we all saw happening eventually, and I know every single fucking shipper out there is glad that the little purple and yellow couple are now an actual thing, but god damn it, the execution here was weird as fuck. Like, sure, the end would have been inevitable, but like, would any girl really ask the guy they've been hanging out with if they're dating out of completely nowhere? Like, what the fuck? How does that work? Literally doesn't make any sense. Also, Anna's an obsessive little bitch that can't go 2 seconds without thinking of Uzi. So in all honesty, it seems like quite the unhealthy relationship. It honestly feels this kind of forced. Like in the good words of my friend Excavator, it just feels like fan service. Then there's Jay. Oh, good lord. Everyone wanted to see justice for her, and while her verbal/physical fight with V was awesome, she ended up getting packed for 2 minutes in the episode. I know a certain Mothman is absolutely livid about that. She's still alive in the credits though, so that's nice to get. Also, can we talk about the design for a moment? Like, the characters look absolutely clean, no doubt about that. But honestly, it's a bit too clean. Sure, the animation team went all in, but I can't be the only one who sees the style as kinda off-putting. One point we brought up in this stream is how the animation felt like Digital Circus, but reskinned with Murder characters. Like, let me put up a couple shots of some extremely goofy expressions.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass.
Like, does this not feel off at all? It just feels like it's too much. And according to my good friend Slayer, rumor has it this episode was rewritten a couple times, so we could have gotten a better ending? Like, this is Murder Jones we're talking about here. I think we can all agree that we expected an ending much darker, but instead we got a happy ending. Yeah, sure, Liam basically made it clear that if he ever got the chance to do a long-form series that he wanted to end it happy. But again, this episode doesn't feel very Liam, to put it simply. I just don't see it in this episode. I really think Glitch kind of fucked up the results here, I can't lie. And if it is true that it was rewritten, and we end up getting our hands on the original script somehow, some way, and it was much better than we got, oh boy, there will be a riot in the MD fandom, I can already tell. There's also the fact that a lot of burning questions the fans were asking about were never answered, like who killed Nori, what happened to Doll's dad, lots of vital plot points the series fuck off. Lots of vital plot points that the series never closed in the finale. Oh, and let's not forget the vast amount of consistency errors in this episode as well. Like Uzi suddenly being able to make black holes and resist the solver's influence when she was literally possessed by it the episode prior. I know I spent the last 2 minutes dogging on this episode, so here's some good stuff about it. Despite V's questionable return, they wrote her pretty well. Even her writing the Sentinel, pause, was also a nice touch. And her apologizing at the end, very good closure on her arc. The teacher remained pretty consistent as well, with him not giving a fuck about it. And they actually tried to make it more edge towards teens by including some curse words. Always a nice touch, albeit making every fucking parent in existence not want their kids to watch the show. And the soundtrack fucking slaps. That song, Bite Me, went so insanely hard. Good lord, AJ is a master. Yeah, it doesn't have the same atmosphere as most other Emergent soundtracks, but it's still such a banger. Even the song that plays in credits roll goes so hard. It's called Forever. There's also Eternal Destroyer, very good too. That's really the main positives I have. Again, it's not last place, and I still really do like it. There's just a lot of negatives I noticed, especially when having that discussion. Trust me, once the recency bias fades, I do believe that this finale will end up as the most controversial series. Well, fuck off. As the most controversial episode of the entire series as time goes on. And yeah, this episode is ranked number 4, so I still really do like it. Easy S tier. But despite its placement, it's not even close to top 3. The top 3 I have is like locked in. Taking bronze medal is Cabin Fever. Very underrated episode in my opinion. And I know this episode is kind of hated by the community, and you guys are gonna absolutely get livid due to the fact that I put this over absolute freaking end with Kiss My Ass. I really like this episode. For one, the suspense here is great, and it had some massive foreshadowing that nobody picked up on until after episode 7. This episode hinted at the Sentinel and also the Sylvester twist. Also, the camp atmosphere really fits the wintry nature of Silver Lake and Copper 9 as a whole. The characters were really funny in this episode. I really like how they act when they're all together. The only thing that bothers me is Rebecca flirting with N. Like, don't she have a boyfriend? One thing that ticks me off is how none of the characters seem to remember Uzi, but in the lore she was always the insignificant member of the crowd, so it kinda makes sense? Whatever, I digress. Solver Uzi was also a really great scene, showing off what the Solver can do to a drone when it reaches a state of uncontrollable ire due to extremely high temperatures and unending thirst for oil. I really enjoyed the massacre of the campers. I don't know, is that a crazy thing to say? I don't know, this show is meant to be extremely dark anyway. Also, Anne being the one thing that somehow made Uzi snap out of her frenzy mode is kind of confusing. I mean, at this point it was basically established that the two had feelings, just neither of them were ready to confess yet. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but it also kind of doesn't. Also, the music of this episode, holy. I will never get over how astonished I am at how AJ cooked so hard with the OST. With tracks like 98.7, Solver Uzi, and Falling For You being immaculate masterpieces. And this isn't even the episode with the best OSTs. We'll get to that one in about 10 seconds. Great episode, heavily underrated in my opinion. Characters are good, soundtrack slaps, great action, moving on. Taking silver medal is The Promenade. This is another episode that gets a lot of praise, and unlike Heartbeat or Dead End, this time I actually think it's deserved. I know this is kind of an NPC take, but honestly, I don't care. I mean, this episode was always top 3 since it came out. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody has this outside their top 3 unless they hate synthwave music. Which, by the way, who hates synthwave music anyway? Listen to this. This shit slaps, dude. Okay, no, that track is technically dark synth, but that's a synthwave subgenre, so piss off. This episode probably has the best action sequence out of every episode so far. And unlike Absolute End, it doesn't feel anticlimactic due to this episode, well, not being the end of the series. Duh. The beginning showed us our main antagonist of the episode, the crazy Russian bitch herself, Doll, which holy shit she fell off after this episode until her death and mass destruction. This is also where the characters were best written in my opinion. Anne and Uzi were great, and sure this was the beginning of their romantic moments, but it wasn't solidified just yet, and the way they acted was just so enjoyable to watch. Then there's V, actually getting some development for once, because holy shit was she completely useless to Heartbeat. Jay of course is MIA. Thad is just showing off his moves. Lizzie, of course, being Lizzie is great, provided a lot of jokes and ended up befriending V, which would become very prevalent later on. And one thing I would like to note is that despite everyone saying that she's an absolute bastard for betraying Doll, she never betrayed her. Like, she knew that Doll was up to some bad shit, she knew to cut ties with her and instead befriend V, who she knew had potential, which is also really great. And Lizzie was also very cute in this episode. Like, god damn does she look nice in that dress. Definitely my favorite outfit in the entire show, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's obvious at this point that I'm the #1 Lizzie fan of all time. Even Zen Universe herself, who's known for being a huge Lizzie fan, essentially handed the crown right to me.
Battle for #1 Lizzie fan. No, it's you, Dom. It's you, Dom. Dom, it's you. I know it's you. It's gotta be. It's not me. I just love a content creator who likes Lizzie. That's literally it. I'm not. I don't. Dom, you're the one who's the best Lizzie fan, to be completely honest.
With that aside, we have Doll, the main character for this episode, and probably the biggest op in all of Murder Drones. Yes, even over the solver itself. She really was not holding back against Thief for killing off her parents in her hunt for oil and made it clear, especially when N and Uzi interfered, she went after them, which resulted in this.
Quit saving me!
God damn, was this moment of the series so damn good. There's a reason why this is the most iconic fight scene in the show, apart from the very last one, the absolute end. The action was just so good, and the soundtrack behind it, the knife dance, is just so fucking awesome. Unfortunately, I can't play most of it because this rat bastard is still copyrighting people who use the Murder Drone soundtrack. So I'd end up just getting claimed. So, yeah, just trust my word, this song is fucking awesome. It's just a tad bit short. I'd honestly like it if Asia Despirito would create an extended mix that features new segments and even a second drop. A 3 to 4 minute of this song would go so insanely hard, and not just an extended version of the original. Like adding new segments, like I said earlier. Please, AJ, if you're watching this, please give us an extended version of this knife dance that would just go so hard. Please, please, please. And let's not forget the precursor to the song, Get Prom. Oh shit, I just dropped a plate onto the floor. Well, isn't that fun? Luckily it was nothing in it. God damn it, this song is also awesome. I sometimes just jam to this when it comes on my playlist. It's just so damn good. Easily this and the knife dance are top 5 on the OST. With that being said, very impressive episode, especially for being one of the shortest and one of 3 under 20 minutes long. It's just so fucking amazing. Don't sleep on this one. Taking gold medal, without a doubt, the best episode in Murder Drones is Mass Destruction. Not to be confused with the J-Toe Tower of the same name, of course, but being the precursor to Absolute End and the first episode is 7 months of waiting, being the second biggest gap in terms of episodes, the wait between episodes 1 and 2 being the longest. It had a lot of anticipation and very high expectations it had to meet. But it delivered with flying colors. The action, the music, the characters, the scenery. This episode is like perfect. Just can't get enough of it. I was absolutely stunned when I watched it through the first time on its release day. What a way to bring the series back after more than a half-year-long drought. And this episode needed to be good, or else the fandom would probably be split in two. And to my surprise, it ended up as the best one. It was kind of a fight whether this or the Prominent would take my top spot, but in the end, Mass Destruction was a clear winner in my book. Before I tell you why, let me give you a fun fact. This episode released on March 29th, 2024, which was actually a Good Friday for me, so I didn't have to worry about school getting in the way. But I'm getting sidetracked. So why was March 29th such an important date for that episode release? Well, my birthday was a week prior, March 22nd, where I turned 17. Trust me, it's a lot more anticlimactic than you think. So this episode released 1 week after my birthday, so I thank Glitch for a very special late birthday present. You know, if I had a nickel every time the Murder Drones episode released exactly a week within an MDTuber's birthday, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. So you're probably asking, Dom, if you had an MD episode released a week off your birthday, who's the other person that also had this happen? I'll gladly tell you. Yeah, my good friend Cosmo X Clouds had a very similar situation happen to her, where episode 6 released a week prior to her birthday, August 25th, where the episode release was August 18th. And since our birthdays both landed on Fridays in those years, it was in prime real estate for an episode release. It's safe to say we were pretty excited, but we were off by a week both times. The only difference being her birthday was a week after the episode dropped, while mine was a week before. God damn it, Glitch, that would have been a perfect opportunity to have an episode release on our birthdays. Anyway, on to the episode itself. Well, it's really good. The start with a flashback inside the Cabin Fever Cathedral was awesome, as we see what happened that led up to the Planet Core explosion, which was one of 2 catalysts for the series, the other being Sin being improperly disassembled. We get to see Nori as well as Yeva in full action as the music absolutely bombs. Then of course, the Solver awakens within her, tosses the USB, and cuts to black. Nori's alive, yay. The gang split up on their own because Uzi's uncomfortable around N. Thank God those two are inseparable. And then we're back to the surface where we get to see Thad, but most importantly, my girl Lizzie, making a star entrance after not being seen since Cabin Fever. Literally, I was so happy seeing her again. It was insane.
Flashback.
Lizzie! Thad! Yay!
And it's not about football, okay?
My girl! My girl!
End of flashback.
So yeah, good shit. And she was looking awesome this episode. God, the animation in the last 2 episodes was so clean. The one thing that was unexpected yet unsurprising was Doll getting packed. Some people had a suspicion that she was doomed, and they were right. God, what a tragic ending to her story, or lack thereof. Remember, she was fucking wasted. Then, Tessa tries to body Uzi, but N stops her and ends her assault like it's nobody's business. Yeah, I can't lie, N was low-key standing on business here, but at the expense for someone else. Yeah, it's not it. I always said that N was a bit of a yandere for Uzi before they ended up together in the finale, and this is just another piece of proof for that. It's a part I never liked on N, but now with the two being together in the finale, can I really say this about him anymore? I don't know, it just feels kind of strange now. But then becomes the best part, the fight between N, Nori, and possessed Uzi. God damn, this fight scene was just so good, and the music here, once again, just goes so hard. It's like a version 2 of Click, the song that plays during the pilot's fight scene. I think it's actually kind of better, as it shows how AJ is improved with the music and the intensity stays consistent the whole way through. AJ Despirito is a master at his work. Everything about it was just so good. But the execution of N is trying to stop possessed Uzi from eating her mom's core was just strange. Like, we were just hanging out, kind of hang out, blah blah blah. Dog drawing heart emoji. Like, I don't know what to think about this part, it's weird. But then it's the whole Sin was Tessa all along thing. Or the other way around, I guess. I know some people don't agree with it, but I thought it was fine. The foreshadowing of this event in episodes 4 and 5 felt very clever. I did like the second last scene with Lizzie and Thad being all badass with a railgun and Piper trying to take down Shay, which never happened. But I mean, it's giving double trouble, you guys can't say it's not. And of course, Uzi's sacrifice. This one, in my opinion, hits harder than V's, mainly due to the fact that it carries so much more meaning. V's sacrifice felt out of place, out of nowhere. This one feels like it's needed. They were in a dire situation and needed to act quick. So Uzi did what she had to, and N was somebody she was really close with, so it really hits deep. When I say this episode stunned me, I meant it. So while the finale made me break down in tears, Mass Destruction left me absolutely speechless. Like, I had no words. Absolutely gold medal episode. Nothing manages to top Mass Destruction. Deep in my heart, the best episode of Murder Drones. Well, it appears we've made it all the way to the end of this, 30-minute long video. I want to thank you guys for how far we've come. This year was a year of exponential growth. Like, I haven't seen this growth in years. I want to thank you guys for that. Sorry this video took so long. Of course, life happened. Stuff got in the way, like school. And then of course I did the whole Goodbye Murder Jones thing with Yaxter. that took a lot of priority as well, but then I got back to finishing this, and yes, I know some of the parts of this video are quite awkward. I wrote this script literally like 3 months ago in August. It's crazy. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is a taste of what's coming on this channel in the future, so just you wait, because big things are coming. Yeah. So Murder Drones is a big part of my life, as you probably already knew. I have literally, my last video was literally just about that. It's my part in the whole thing, like I mentioned. Yeah, I want to thank all the people that stuck with me during this time, who never left me, who they wanted to see me return and do big things, and here we are, we're returning doing big things. And I want to thank all the new people that have come along and found me, and are joining my journey here in the domination. Thank all my friends who stuck by me as well. You guys mean the world to me. I wouldn't be here without y'all. Yeah, I want to thank Murder Jones as well, Liam Glitch, all of that. This video is the start of something new, and I was kind of trying to test the waters with something like this. Hopefully we will continue to grow in the future with this. So with that being said, that is going to wrap up this video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new, be sure to punch that like button, and be sure to dominate that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. If we could do that, that would be very much appreciated. And I'm going to just end off here. This is the Real Dominator, signing off. Peace out. Goodbye. Thank you, Murder Drones.
Time concludes, and far beyond the stars we